Hey everybody, welcome back to Bellwether Fields. This week we're going to pick up exactly where we left off last week with our vertical shiplap. We're going to be putting that up, hopefully getting it done. That's going to be the mission for me this weekend. We've got a lot of other projects we need to get to. We've got a little bit of new urgency in trying to get to them, so that's going to be the mission this week. We are also two people from the city who have just moved out to rural Central Virginia, the Blue Ridge Mountains, and we're trying to figure out what we're doing, not just restoring this house, but how we're restructuring our lives. And we just want to take you through whatever we're up to in our day-to-day throughout the week. So glad you're with us. Please, if you haven't already, like this video. Very much helps us with the YouTube algorithm, and sign up for notifications. What I'm making is a little hole for the outlet. So I've got about a half dozen light switches and outlets I got to account for. And there's a couple things that I really need to keep in mind. The first one is that I need to cut the correct side of the board, so I got to make sure I've got that worked out. Then just make sure that I've got the height, width, and where it is from the bottom of the board. Get that right, and I think we've got it. So I'm just going to mark this off here. Okay, that looks about right. So I'm going to go over and get my jigsaw. So I've got the board propped up so the saw blade doesn't hit and scour the deck. Okay, I'll show you on a different one, but this is what I did. Just stuck these little spacers right underneath the outlet, in between the outlet and the wall. Brings it forward and just makes the plate flush with the whatever wall covering that you're putting on there. And got one more up. For whatever reason, doing stuff like this never seems to work out on the first try. I know it's just measuring, it's math, it's numbers, and it should be pretty straightforward, but very rarely do I ever get it right the first time. So let's see. It's perfect. It fits exactly. That's exciting. Fist bump. Okay, I gotta replace all the screws for the electrical outlets right here, which is longer screws because I'm bringing it out a little bit. Okay, so I'm just gonna take these have little snaps on them, so I'm just gonna fold it up and use 5 spacers. I think that's about right. We'll see when everything's actually finished. So 5 of these plastic little links getting snapped together. And just tear the extra one off. And this is going to go around the screw.
That looks really good.
On last week's One Man, One Pan, these are the fermented salsas that I made. So I ended up doing both in the video from last week, which you can see right up here. I was gonna combine the cilantro and the shiso together. I saw that I had just a ton of cilantro, so I didn't do that. I made separate batches. So we got cilantro, the original one that you saw me make, and then I made another one. This is the shiso leaf salsa. Oh my God. So amazing, so delicious. Highly recommend doing that, but you can catch that. I'm gonna use that as a condiment in today's One Man, One Pan. I'm gonna make a shiso rice, and I'm gonna make a Boston butt. We're kind of doing things a little plain right now. Things are just going down better, a little plain. So with the pork shoulder, usually I do a rub with maybe like some cumin, some coriander, salt, pepper, all that stuff, paprika. But this time I'm just gonna do it plain, no nothing, maybe a little salt, and I'll do it in some of my bone broth. And then on top, we'll put on a little bit of this, serve it with some vegetables, and you got your meal. So let's get started with the rice. Okay. Now I've got half and half. This is bone broth and water. And I've got my shiso again. I just picked up a bunch of leaves. I don't know about measurements. Might be a lot, I don't know. We'll see. Okay, and I'm just gonna follow directions as I usually would. Oh, I'm gonna add a clove. I start doing that lately, that's good. Just one. Okay, it's all finished. That wasn't too much shiso leaf. Is there such a thing as too much shiso leaf? I don't know. We'll probably find out one day. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna let this cool, and then I'm gonna stick this in the fridge. I like to make rice, and I like to stick it in the fridge and let it cool off overnight, often for many nights, because it does something really cool. It develops something called resistant starch, and that is a really awesome kind of fiber your digestive system really likes. And it's a very easy way to get it. This is a nice little trick that will get you a lot more fiber in your diet. You can do it with potatoes too. Actually, it probably works better with potatoes. I know it's a little bit of a pain to reheat the rice, but it's worth it. Okay, this is gonna be really, really simple. This is my Boston butt. I mean, look at that. That is just so red, so marbled. I mean, that is some amazing stuff. I got this from Double H Farm. The rest of this is really, really easy. I've got a cup of my beef bone broth. It's a little purple because I use purple carrots. What are you gonna do? And because I'm not doing any rub or spices, I'm going for plain pork. And I'm gonna flavor it later with some other stuff for myself, but Christina's into plain right now. So, just gonna put that in. You need, I've heard a half a cup and I've heard a cup. So this is an 8-quart Instant Pot, it's not 6-quart. And since it's unclear, I'm just gonna use a cup just to make sure that there's enough fluid. You need a certain amount of fluid in order for the pressure to build properly. And it makes for a really nice sauce or jus. You can use it for later, you know, with all the drippings of the pork. And from there, it's super easy. You just set it to seal. We hit manual, so it's 15 minutes per pound. This is a little bit over 3 pounds, so I'm just gonna do 55 minutes. And I can just walk away from it now. Beautiful. All right, so it's finished. The pressure's down. I'm just gonna open it up. Let's see what we got going on. It is looking good. It's just falling apart. It's awesome. So from here, all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna mix it with the rice that I made last night. I'm just gonna heat a little bit of that up. Mix this with a little bit of the fermented salsa that I've had after I salt it. You do that with maybe some corn on the cob, maybe some roasted squash, and I think you got yourself a meal. So really easy. This is super easy. This is why I like cooking with such great ingredients. I mean, this is just the best pork. One of these days, when it's no longer one man, one pan, and I've got a smoker, That's gonna be killer. I am going to do an Appalachian Trail workout. Got my headband on, so you know it's serious. Just started doing this relatively recently. 2 or 3 days a week I'm doing more kind of strenuous hiking, and one of those days I'm doing trail intervals. So like I'll do, you'll see in a second, there's a pretty steep ascent here to start off. It takes me about 8 minutes to get up, and I'll do that 3 to 5 times, go up and down, and whereas today I'm just going to set a timer for 45 minutes and just get as far as I'm going to get on the trail, which is up and down and flat, and just turn around and come right back. And I've got 18 pounds in my vest here. So this is called rucking, for the rucksack, right? Well, I'm rucking, except I'm using a weight vest. There's so many great things about doing this. One is that you're just in the forest on a trail, and it's really quiet. You can hear the sound of the leaves as the wind blows through them. The light's different. We're about 1,000 feet up from where our cabin is, which is about 1,300 feet. And I feel like 5 degrees or so cooler. That's pretty nice. But my thoughts get real quiet. I feel like it's a real stress reliever. Just being here, and you're getting exercise. Pretty sweet. So I made it my 45 minutes. I just turned around, just going back the way I came. So why the vest instead of something like a rucksack or a backpack or something like that? Well, the vest does something called axial loading. Axial part of your skeleton comprises the spine. So you load the weight as close as you can to your spine all the way around 360 degrees. It mimics increasing your body weight. And this is just loading your skeleton as if my body were 18 pounds heavier than it actually is. Part of the reason why I do this is for bone density. I'm loading my skeleton, and I'm loading it while I'm doing hiking up an incline, hiking up steps, things like that. It's a lot of strength training. It's a lot of load on the bones. And I think that's been working out pretty well for me. My last DEXA scan, where I checked for body fat, lean mass, bone mass, my bone mass was great. That is one kind of long-term benefit of doing loaded and resisted training. So if that's an issue for you, my understanding, now I'm not a doctor and this isn't advice, but my understanding is that for folks that have less bone mass, like osteopenia, osteoporosis, part of the problem isn't really that you have enough calcium or you have enough building blocks, although that may be the case in some cases. It's really like you still have to have a stimulus for producing bone. And your body, the stimulus for your body to produce bone is caused by force, or increased force in particular. It's one of the physiological laws. Bony mass forms in relation to the line of stress being put on it. So you could have all the calcium in the world, and if you're not doing resistance training or loaded training, your bone mass is not going to respond optimally, for sure. So if you're in a city or neighborhood and you wanted to work on things that were beneficial for both health, fitness, and your bone density, just getting a weight vest would be an excellent step to take. Some other good reasons for rucking include increased calorie burn. So just adding a load to your frame can sometimes give you up to 2 times more calorie burn for the same amount of walking. So if you're interested in fat loss, it's still relatively low impact on the joints, but you get some of the similar benefits of running. Not the same, but similar. If you're not a fan of running, I'm not a fan of running. I like that other people run, but it's not for me. And the other is you're adding to your body's lean mass by doing this. So it's like a form of strength training in some respects. But I've definitely noticed since doing these, adding in these mountain workouts to my kettlebell training, I've definitely noticed a lot of increased mass in my legs, my thighs. I've gotten way more muscular in the last 6 weeks. It's been pretty cool.